Hi, my name's Sophia. I am finally here doing my first episode on this channel. I'm very excited about it because I have had a long think about how I want to do this. And to be honest, I just thought, do you know what? I'm just going to let you into my private life a little bit, where you can see where I come from and how I got to the point where I decided to become a vitality coach or a wellness coach, however you want to approach it. Um, just a little bit of a background of myself. I grew up in quite a dysfunctional family, but in saying that, it was also a very loving family. My dad was an alcoholic, and I think from a very young age, I had to learn to adapt into certain situations where I could grow in a different way. And a lot of people will be in the same scenario with addiction. You just set yourself up in a different way to make ends meet and to survive as a human being. I went through quite a long journey with certain decisions I made in my own life, especially when it came to fitness, health, nutrition, drinking alcohol, things like that. After I've eventually got through school and we moved quite a lot from one state to another, and then eventually I met my life partner and I moved to Australia. And through that, growth process, I implemented quite a lot of things in my life that I could draw back to. And I'll teach you a little bit on how I did it so that you can get some idea how to implement certain habitual changes into your own life. And through that, I just want to make you aware that nothing was easy. I am not naturally a runner. Didn't wake up, born knowing that I was going to run marathons and do ultra marathons or do anything like that. I'm definitely not an exceptional person. I'm an average person, just like you. I just implemented things in my life that has made it easier for me to get through difficult situations. And therefore, I want to share my experience as well as give you tools of what I've done to help me. And also to sit here in front of you today after being through quite a lot of things in my life that was very, very challenging, whether it was losing a lot of people in my family to accidents and just a lot of trauma. I went through a lot of trauma in my life, but I can draw back on the things that makes it easier. Now, to get there, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of determination, but I'll give you a lot of tips to get there successfully. I am a nutritionist. I've studied I've done a nutrition qualification, so I understand food and I understand the body. But more than anything, through my psychological growth that I've gone through, I've realized nutrition is one thing, fitness is one thing, but everything starts in your brain. Like everything starts in your mind. It does not matter what you want to pursue, whether you want to be successful, whether you want to, be the fittest person in the world, whatever you want to do or achieve in your life, it starts in your mind. And I wasn't always somebody that had a strong mind, determination. It took me a long time to really teach myself to do it. It takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of strength. And I'm thankful for the difficult situations in my life because those situations actually got me to a point where I feel a lot stronger today. And that's why I can sit in front of you today, giving you my testimonial of how I got there. My background is I am a Christian and I could always draw back to my faith. So I'm very, very thankful for that. For me, that's the thing that always pulled me back onto the path and got me back onto the narrow path and straight path. However, it doesn't mean it doesn't come with difficulty. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's happened to me last year. And this is after I've gone through a extremely difficult divorce. I wouldn't wish it on a snake. It's not something I want to really share with anyone, but the people who were close to me and are still close to me today know exactly what I've been through. And it's not easy for me to talk about it, but if it in any way can help anybody going through the same situation, I'm here to help, I'm here to listen, and I'm here to guide. It's not easy. I'm 2 years down the track. Am I 100%? Definitely not. I face difficult situations every single day. But like I said, if you can draw back to certain things, to habits, that's good habits that you can implement in your life, you will find the strength to do things the way that it needs to be done to get to the other side successfully. My journey's been very rocky. It's been up and down, but I have established, like I said before, habitual things in my life that I could draw back to. So exercise to me is a number one thing. It keeps my mind right. A lot of people are in situations where they cannot get themselves to exercise. They start for a couple of weeks at the start of the year, and then for some way or another, everything else takes priority. You need to get yourself at a point in your life where that priority should become number one. If that's the decision you want to make, it's very important to have a clear goal and a clear understanding of what you want to achieve. What I always tell people that's really important is to set achievable goals. Achievable goals is the number one thing you need to do. It's great to have dreams and have a very high expectation of yourself and have that big dream. But to get to the big dream, you need to achieve the small goals. Because once you hit a small goal or you achieve your goal, you feel encouraged, you feel empowered, and you feel you have the will to carry on. With obstacles, you will get over them. And that eventually will get you to the point where you achieve your goal. I had never thought about it this way, but as I was going through my own processes, just started running, never thought I would be an ultra marathon runner, was never part of the big dream. It was never part of the big dream. It was literally just there to, I just wanted to run because I had to lose 10K. So my goal was to lose 10 kilograms. I was 10 kilograms overweight. I didn't like it. None of my clothes fit me. I felt really unhealthy. I was drinking a lot of alcohol. I was just partying. I was in my 20s, partying, doing things that just wasn't good for my mind, my soul, or my body. And I just said, okay, right, I just want to lose the 10Ks. And what I did was I set myself up to start running. I implemented the change every day, not a crazy amount. I just had to lose 1 kilogram a month. 1 kilogram a month. And I pursued getting up in the morning, going for my run habitually. It became part of my daily routine. Not every day, had 3 days. And I'll get back to the no excuses days. It's a very, very good tool if you implement those days. So I had my 3 no excuses days and I stuck to them. And I let my family, my friends, everyone knew about those days, and I stuck with it. And gradually I lost 10 kilograms over the year, and I kept it off. And I've been basically the same weight for the last 15 years. Now, I do, obviously, when I go on holiday, I generally have a 2 or 3 kilogram ratio that I hop in because, you're on holiday and you definitely don't get to exercise as much and your routine isn't the same because you're actually relaxing. But now, because it's so implemented, even if I go on holiday now, I stick to my no excuses days. And I'll guide you how to get there. It's so important because once you nail those ones, it's just a non-negotiable. It's what you do on those days. So I've designed a specific program for you, and you can DM me if you want to have access to it or just have a chat to me about it. I call it my movement program. My movement program works in just setting up your no excuses days and then designing a program that's going to be you moving. It's not necessarily going to be running, but it's going to be something that gets you out of the house and gets you breathing and focusing on you. Start with the mind. That's where we want to go. Now, to go back to my story, last year, I was introduced to a product that I didn't believe in. I thought, this does not sound right. I think it's just a placebo, it's a scam, whatever it is. Anyway, my sister introduced me to the product, and it is a little patch like this. Now, this patch has actually changed my life, and there's many reasons why. So this patch is nanocrystals, and what it does is you put it on for 12 hours a day, and it is non-transdermal. So nothing goes into your system, there's no medication, because I'm completely anti-medication or anti stuff unless you really need it for specific medical reasons. But whilst you're fit and healthy and you don't need any of that, I put this patch on me. Now, this is a very long process because it doesn't happen straight away. I started using it in July last year, and you just put it like 5 centimeters underneath your belly button, or you can put it in the back of your neck, or just on your spine. And what it does, it reflects your natural basically your own infrared. It reflects back into your body. Now, it sounds a little bit crazy, but I can tell you, I started wearing this in July, and 6 weeks into wearing this, obviously you start feeling quite thirsty, so you need to drink quite a lot of water. It's very important that you hydrate on these things, because your body is full of frequency, so you vibrate quite a lot of energy, and people don't really realize how much you vibrate and how much fabric and everything affects that. So as I was starting to use this, I realized like I had to definitely drink more water. I do 2 liters of water anyway, because I do exercise quite a bit. Anyway, so I had to up my water intake, and I can definitely feel it if I don't drink enough water. So July, I started wearing it. 6 weeks into it, and I was still drinking wine. I was still going out with my friends. I was still enjoying, a glass of wine or whatever. But I did realize after 6 weeks that the alcohol didn't have such an effect on me anymore. And I found it strange, because normally after 2 glasses of wines, I would feel tipsy. And that's why we drink. We have a couple of glasses to relax and forget about what we need to deal with on whatever situation we are in. But then I didn't feel tipsy, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. And one night I had a little bit too much to drink, and I just felt sick. So I thought, that's interesting. I didn't feel drunk. I just felt sick. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. And then I started, the longer I've been wearing the patch, the more I realized, but this is not really what I want. And it's influencing the way I think. So by, I think, September, I thought, wow, I want to eliminate things out of my life that's not good for me. Because I was actually vaping. And I'm sorry to say this, but I was vaping. I went through a very hard time with my divorce, and I took vape on like this. I got so addicted that's what I did. And I'm a marathon runner, so you can imagine how hard it was for me to get through it. And the journey quitting before I was using the patch was a nightmare. I tried, and it was hard, and I'm a very determined person now. I wasn't, but the way I've structured my life, I could say, like, I could quit, but I couldn't quit. I was so addicted. And that's what vape is for. They make it so that you are addicted to it. That's the whole point of it. So then in September, and now I've worn this for a couple of months, my friend came to visit me from Melbourne, and we were sitting outside, and I'm like, mate, I'm done. I'm not going to do the vape anymore. I'm finished. And I literally put that vape down, and that was the end of it. And you know what? I never think about it. And we are in February, and it's the best thing I've done. And so I went on a trip with my children. I took them to England, because both my brother and sister live there. And I went there, And it was my birthday, and my sister and her husband, we went out for dinner, and we went out in one of the nightclubs in London. And I was having a couple of drinks, and by 12 o'clock, we were ready to go home. And within 3 minutes, I was incapable to walk. And I fell down on the streets of London, and we all know how unbelievably clean those streets are. I fell down and my drink was spiked. So I wasn't drinking a lot. I was just having a couple of drinks, but I put my drink down, unfortunately, and somebody spiked my drink. My first thought when I actually think back of it, I think, why would anyone, number one, do that to anyone? And why would anyone do that to somebody that's in their 40s? Like, I don't get it. I was paralyzed. I literally vomited from the minute. Basically, I was incapable to walk. My sister and her husband had to carry me. I felt so embarrassed. I could remember bits of it, and I was just so out of it, but vomiting literally from where we walked onto the tube, onto the train, into the cab, into the car, like all those areas. I was just literally vomited the whole way. And when I got home, vomited. I felt so sick, and I felt sick for about 10 days afterwards. It was absolutely the worst experience I've had in my life. And if anyone else has ever experienced anything like that before, where somebody violates your own life like that, especially if you choose to be healthy and not do drugs and not do things that's going to implicate your well-being, I feel for you, because that was such a horrible experience to me. It was really bad. And then I realized that morning, I'm not going to drink anymore. I'm actually not going to drink alcohol anymore. I feel like this is not my way forward. And I stopped. So that was on the 6th of October. Now, am I saying I'm never going to touch it again? I'm not an alcoholic. And I have so much sympathy, because I have a lot of friends that have difficulties with addiction. So I understand it. I come from a family from addiction. I know how it works. I'm very, very thankful that I am not in the case where if I drink one glass of wine, I have to have the bottle. I can drink a glass of wine. But that drink does not need to happen with me anymore, because I have realized, especially being a single mom, the support you need, you have to rely on your own mental health. You need to rely on your health, your own normal fitness and your health. And when you drink, and that's what this is my experience, and I'm not forcing it on anyone. I'm just saying how I'm experiencing it. If I have one glass of wine, it immediately implicates my sleep. So if I'm not sleeping, that makes my moods even more inflated when I have my children. If I have a drink, I tend to get depressed. It doesn't matter if it's just one or a bottle. I feel depressed the next day. And I know my cycle was kind of, I'm such a habit. I come from work, or you do something, you cook dinner for your friends, you cook dinner for your kids, you have a couple of glasses of wine in between. It was such an habitual thing for me to do. It was part of my being. And to take that away from me, it almost felt like I was going through a little bit of a identity crisis. But since I started using the patch, and the way it makes you think, the way it makes you navigate certain things in your life to make it priority, that's what it assisted me with. I still see my psychologist. I still do the right things. I still run. I'm not reliant on anything. But in terms of recovery, when I run my distances, and I'm now training for a triathlon, this has been a huge help, and just giving me the insight of what is good for me and what is not good for me. Now, through my life, I have pushed through many barriers, because if you are training, and I'm sure any marathon runner or any long distance athlete, anyone that does any type of exercise that's out of the norm would agree that it takes a lot of determination. You have to put a lot of work in to actually achieve that goal. It's not something, and you need to do it when you don't feel like doing it, because you can't miss out on the miles. Like this morning, I'm training for a triathlon, and I really didn't feel like riding my bike, because that's not my primary exercise. Riding a bike is hard for me, but I do it anyway. So to go back to the patch, so the patch then gave me that insight and settled my mind in that this is okay to change. And since then, it doesn't bother me not drinking alcohol. I go to my friends, if they drink alcohol, no judgment, anyone do whatever they want, but I had to choose it for me. Being a vitality coach and also trying to be a pillar for other people, I can't have crutches. I don't want to have crutches. I don't need something to make me relax. If I have to deal with the emotion, I think it's important for me, but that's for me. It gave me the strength and the courage to push through the hard times. And believe me, it's a big shift in identity when you are used to going Friday night, or it's Friday, and I live up in the Gold Coast. So you can imagine it's beautiful weather 9 months of the year, actually all year long. And to go sit by the beach, beautiful view. There's nothing better than to have a nice cold glass of Riesling or Sauv Blanc, or have a nice glass of bubbles. Like that's part of the life. And I just found things to replace it that's better for me. It doesn't mean I still don't enjoy watching the sunset. I do, but I just do it differently. And I share my life in a different way. And it's honestly life-changing. And I thought, before I go into my episodes with things that I want to talk about going forward, because I'm going to go into health, and I'm going to go into fitness and nutrition quite a bit, but I thought I'll give you a rundown of where I am at and how I approach life and my difficulties in life as well. And I thought, if I can share this with you, it opens up a lot of doors for different types of people, and I'm just hoping to help. Like, my whole goal to have this channel out there is to help, to see if there's anything that I can assist with when it comes to difficult situations, because I've been there. And I'm a super down to earth person. I'm not. As I go forward, you'll get to know me a little bit better. But I'm very approachable, and I love people. I love people, and I think when we open ourselves up and make ourselves a little bit more vulnerable, you get a lot more out of life. So I did decide, after really believing in this product, I did decide to start becoming an ambassador for them, and also to educate people on the patch itself and what it does and how it changed my life. That's my testimony for you guys to see. It is available on my website at sobalanced.com.au. Go have a look at it. It's a month's supply that you can purchase, and then if it's something that you want to pursue, you can do like a subscription through them, and I can send you the link on that as well. But that's my testimony for it. It's very simple. You don't forget about it. You don't sleep with it. It's 12 hours on, 12 hours off. But yeah, I thought, before I start going into the nitty-gritties of health and vitality, I'd give you this background of me and also my journey, how to get there. So yeah, I hope that you can subscribe to my channel. I'm very open to any questions. Please DM me if you want to have a chat, if you need a program to work on. I'm happy to do something, personalize something for you, as well as do audio for you. My program is based on audio, so I can eventually send you a link if you are interested in that. But yeah, I hope to see you soon, and I really hope you can get something out of this. And if you've got any questions on how I got through my divorce and how I deal with single parenting and all of that, I will be talking it throughout the episodes. But yeah, please be in contact. I'm very open to help. Have a great day, and I hope to see you soon.